right, I'm going to take a second to introduce Olivia. You can stand up there. We're going to introduce Olivia Velasquez. She's a very special person with us today. You're spokesman for the Youth Leadership Council. You're here with us to share your thoughts this morning. You're from Hancock-Wood Electric Cooperative of Ohio. Olivia's a junior. Yeah, Ohio, there you go. Olivia is a junior at Pandora Gilboa High School in Ottawa, Ohio, and she's the daughter of Rick and Amy Velasquez. Welcome her. Thank you so much for being here, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Are we there yet? It's a common question to ask when you travel. However, I grew up in a tiny Ohio village, which isn't even a square mile across. When I walk down one of the 2 streets in town, all the passing faces are familiar. So I rarely have to ask that question. Are we there yet? But from the moment I stepped onto the youth tour bus, everybody was asking that question. What they weren't asking was, why are we going, or how are we getting there? I thought the answers were obvious. I'm representing my generous cooperative, Hancock-Wood. I'm traveling by bus, and no, we're not there yet. But these were not the answers I received while in D.C. Instead, the youth tour trip enlightened me, showing me that not only do cooperatives light up homes, but lives as well. By representing us, caring about us, and striving to make progress. On the bus to youth tour, we were all teens excited to go to D.C. for the first time. They asked the same question. So I assumed we thought the same way. Instead, I realized we had vastly different ideas and preferences. Some of us could have given the tour at Capitol Hill, while others of us were happy just to see our favorite celebrities in Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. Some of us were used to the religious services at the National Cathedral, while others had never been to communion before. But we had a common goal. Why were we in D.C.? To represent. This is a goal we shared with all politicians. As we learned, there were many representatives in D.C. But from social media, Washington, D.C. seemed like a threatening place, full of these ruthless politicians. However, meeting them changed my mind. I realized that these people drink coffee to stay awake for their hectic schedules. They had heard of our single stoplight towns. And most importantly, they wanted to not only hear, but listen to our ideas and opinions. Because without people like us, these educated business suit wearers would be all dressed up with no place and nobody to speak for. Why were the representatives in D.C.? To speak for us. So how can a single person, whether a youth leadership council member or a politician, possibly speak for so many people? How are we getting there? The answer is not that they speak for us first. It's that they listen. Just as our representatives listen to us in D.C., so must we listen to the ideas and emotions of the people. Before putting change in motion, we must consider the motives of the people involved. For example, before the EPA can ban the use of coal-powered plants for harmful emissions, we must consider how this would affect the lives and livelihoods of the people who depend upon those plants. Maybe they have something to say to to the EPA. Besides meeting my first politicians, I went on my first boat cruise and subway ride while in D.C. I was amazed at how the subway whisked us from Arlington National Cemetery to a few blocks from our hotel. I didn't even have time to ask, "Are we there yet?" But in a larger sense, we are constantly asking ourselves as a nation this question. As I learned, we must go a little deeper to get a better answer. Why and how are we getting there? I would like to thank my electric cooperative, Hancock-Wood, and the Board of Trustees, the Ohio Rural Electric Cooperative Association, and the National Rural Electric Cooperative Association for this life-changing experience. Although Youth Tour ended a mere week after we boarded that bus, the lessons I and my new friends learned will last a lifetime. And I finally figured out my own answer to that question. Are we there yet? Youth Tour taught me that we will never be there. Instead, we must continually ask ourselves these questions, make changes in the directions to make progress. But in the end, that progress is our destination. And we are there now. Thank you.